Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Zhou Zhou looked at the strange treasure. Strange treasure name. Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag. Strange treasure grade. Special. Wondrous item effect. It can condense a low-level mist core into a high-level mist core. It can also transform a high-level mist core into a low-level mist core. The conversion ratio between a high-level mist core and a low-level mist core is 1:10. It can condense a legendary tier mist core at most. Strange treasure description. A strange treasure that can transform high-level and low-level mist cores. After reading it, he took out 10 black iron tier mist cores and placed them in the Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag. The next second, this Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag sent him a message and asked him if he needed to condense a green bronze tier mist core. Zhou Zhou agreed in his heart. He soon felt his Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag heat up slightly. Zhou Zhou was stunned. Then, when he opened the Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag again, he saw a green bronze tier mist core lying quietly in the bag. He clicked his tongue in wonder. Then, he took out another yellow gold tier mist core and placed it in the Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag and turned it into 10 white silver tier mist cores, then into 100 green bronze tier mist cores, and then into 1000 black iron tier mist cores. In the end, Zhou Zhou restored it to a yellow gold tier mist core. A magical strange treasure. Zhou Zhou sighed. With this strange treasure, he would not have to worry about lacking high-level mist cores in the future. He could just use this bag to condense a large number of low-level mist cores if he needed them. Then, he threw all his mist cores into the Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag. There were a total of 86,845,863 black iron tier mist cores, 966,803 green bronze tier mist cores, 435,016 white silver tier mist cores, 39,639 yellow gold tier mist cores, 16 white platinum tier mist cores, 12 diamond tier mist cores. This Heavenly Fog Treasure Bag can actually store an unlimited amount of mist cores that is similar to infinite space. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up when he saw the mist core in the treasure bag. There were so many mist cores because he had been too busy to sell anything for the past 2 days. Otherwise, he would only have more mist cores in his hands. Let's try the upper limit of this strange treasure. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou immediately used 80 million black iron tier mist cores and 200,000 white silver tier mist cores to condense a legendary tier mist core. He took out the legendary tier mist core. This was a mist core that emitted a resplendent golden light and even emitted a faint pressure. It looked extremely magical. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. 80 million black iron tier mist cores and 200,000 white silver tier mist cores can only condense one legendary tier mist core. This legendary tier mist core is really valuable. Zhou Zhou played with it carefully for a while before solemnly putting it into his Heavenly Mist Treasure Bag. In the future, the Heaven Fog Treasure Bag would be his exclusive money bag. After that, he returned to the territory stone tablet in his room. Then, he took out the 3 white silver tier regional tokens he had obtained from capturing the territory today and pasted them on the territory stone tablet. Soon, rows of golden text notifications appeared. Congratulations on obtaining a white silver tier regional token, Dust Wasteland, and officially becoming the regional lord of this region. Dust Wasteland, white silver tier, has been added to your regional territory. You have obtained a regional treasure chest, exclusive to Dust Wasteland. Congratulations on obtaining a white silver tier regional token, Yellow Earth Plane. You have officially become the regional lord of this region. New Yellow Earth Plane, white silver tier, has been added to your regional territory. You have obtained a regional treasure chest, exclusive to Yellow Earth Plane. Congratulations on obtaining a white silver tier regional token, Gravel Wilderness, and officially becoming the regional lord of this region. Gravel Wilderness, white silver tier, has been added to your regional territory. You have obtained a regional treasure chest, exclusive to Gravel Wilderness. Zhou Zhou opened his regional territory column. He looked over. Regional territory, Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron tier, Sand Gold Land, Black Iron tier, Thorn Dune, Black Iron Tier, Black Rock Desert, Green Bronze Tier, Silent Wasteland, Green Bronze Tier, Withered Forest Plains, White Silver Tier, Dust Wasteland, White Silver Tier, Yellow Earth Plain, White Silver Tier, Gravel Wilderness, White Silver Tier. The 9th Regional Territory. If nothing goes wrong tomorrow, there should be a 10th Regional Territory. I hope I'm the first Lord to own 10 regional territories. This way, I might be able to make another Lord announcement on the entire channel. Zhou Zhou thought. Then, he thought of something and could not help but frown slightly. This was because he did not dare to guarantee anything. He felt that he might not be the first to own 10 regional territories. These regional territories were obtained by conquering the surrounding regional territories step by step after all. Among these regional territories, there were Black Iron Tier regional territories, Bronze Tier regional territories, and even many Silver Tier regional territories. This kind of behavior actually could not allow him to quickly own 10 regional territories. If some lords wanted to take advantage of the situation, they could completely find 10 Black Iron Tier regional territories through gathering information or other methods. Then, they could spend less time than him to easily attack them. Then, he might miss the next Lord announcement. He could not help but look at the sky. At this moment, the sky was completely dark. Even the scarlet fog had already begun to appear in large patches and quickly spread throughout the world. At this moment, it's impossible to go out and capture ownerless territory. Zhou Zhou shook his head. He gave up on the idea of going out and occupying another territory. Forget it. If he really missed it, so be it. In any case, he had been on the entire channel's Lord announcement too many times. It didn't matter. It was not good to monopolize too much limelight. He stopped thinking about it and looked at the 3 regional treasure chests that had just appeared out of thin air in front of him. The other top-notch lords naturally thought of what Zhou Zhou could think of. Some people even put it into practice themselves. However, the results stunned them. More than 2 hours ago, Undead Lord's territory. In a coffin in the center of the cemetery, the Undead Lord, Zhang Han, finally looked at the territory's stone tablet in front of him in disbelief after waiting for a long time. Why? I've already given you 10 regional tokens. Why hasn't the Lord announcement appeared? Could I have made a mistake? If you want to appear on the entire channel's Lord announcement related to the number of territories captured next time, isn't it 10 regional territories? Could it be 20? 30? The Undead Lord could not help but doubt his life. However, no one could tell him the answer. No one could tell the other lords who wanted to use this opportunity to appear on the entire channel's Lord announcement. If Zhou Zhou took the initiative to ask, he might be given an answer with his qualifications to be admired by the Supreme Will. However, even though Zhou Zhou was puzzled, he had almost forgotten that he was admired by the Supreme Will. Therefore, he did not take the initiative to ask, so no one knew why. In the Lord's manor, Zhou Zhou looked at the 3 regional treasure chests in front of him and finally chose to open the regional treasure chest from the Dust Wasteland first. In the end, he immediately became speechless when he saw a Dust Wasteland resource pack. However, his expression improved slightly when he saw the specific resources. Item name: Dust Wasteland Exclusive Resource Pack. Item level: White Silver Tier. Item effect: after opening it, you can obtain 2 million units of stone, 2 million units of wood, 2 million units of metal, 2 million units of fine sand, 10,000 units of forged stainless steel, 10,000 units of light silver, 1,000 units of adamantine, 1,000 units of mithril, 100 units of water element gems, 100 units of fire element gems, 100 units of earth element gems, 100 units of wind element gems. Item description: White Silver Tier Area Exclusive Resource Pack. After opening it, you can obtain a large number of basic resources, some area exclusive resources, or elementary and intermediate grade resources. There are actually these elementary and intermediate grade resources. That's not too bad. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Today, he had just handed all these resources to Zhao Changshou and asked him to build the Triumphal Arch. These resources were already gone. Now, this exclusive resource bag could replenish his energy. After that, He opened the regional treasure chest in the yellow earth plane and realized that it was still an exclusive resource bag. Moreover, the types and quantities of resources were exactly the same as the exclusive resource bag in the Dust Wasteland. The corners of Zhou Zhou's mouth twitched. Then, he looked at the last regional treasure chest. It's a white silver tier regional treasure chest after all. Give me something different. Zhou Zhou prayed silently. Then, he opened this regional treasure chest. Then, he raised his eyebrows slightly, and surprise flashed across his eyes. It's actually this thing. A territory fusion certificate was lying quietly in the treasure chest. Zhou Zhou picked it up and looked at it. A familiar text notification appeared. Treasure name. Territory fusion certificate. Treasure grade. White silver tier. Treasure effect. It can fuse a white silver tier or lower regional territory that is connected to its territory. The fused regional territory can retain all the resources in the original territory and have a certain chance of increasing the grade of its territory. Treasure description. A necessary item to increase the grade of the region's territory. It's actually a white silver tier territory fusion certificate. It's not gradeless. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. He never expected that his first territory fusion certificate would not drop from a monster but from a regional treasure chest. Thinking of this, he could not help but shake his head. This territory fusion certificate is too difficult to obtain. I'm the king of loots, but I only obtained one territory fusion certificate. It didn't drop from a monster. He sighed. He looked at the territory fusion certificate in his hand and put it away. The surrounding territories were all black iron tier. Even though this silver tier territory fusion certificate could be used, it would obviously be a waste. Since that was the case, he should wait for Li Yu's territory fusion certificate first. In any case, he was not in a hurry to fuse his territory. After that, he went to the gate of summoning and threw in the alchemy technology recruitment books and alchemy pharmacist recruitment books he had obtained earlier in the day. After they came out, Zhou Zhou looked at their attribute information. In the end, they realized that even though their life class levels were quite high, the alchemy technology and alchemy potions they knew were either not as useful as the shapeshift potion or replicated the life potion. Even though Zhou Zhou was a little disappointed, he did not say anything and asked them to go to the gnome alchemy workshop to join the work there. If only there were alchemists who could make higher-level potential advancement potions. Zhou Zhou could not help but think as he watched them leave. Then, he felt that he was a little greedy and stopped thinking about it. He returned to his lord's manor. However, not long after he returned to the lord's manor, the two of them came to ask for an audience. In the meeting hall, Zhao Changshuo and Zhang Keshuan looked at each other and smiled. Zhou Zhou sat opposite them and looked at them in surprise. Elder Zhao, Elder Zhang, why are you two here together? He asked curiously. I'm naturally here to report a happy occasion. Zhao Changshuo smiled. What happy occasion? Could it be? Zhou Zhou thought of something and his eyes lit up. Zhao Changshuo nodded. Even though he was trying his best to calm down, he could not hide the excitement in his voice. The first diamond-tier elementary grade Aurora Tower on the High Continent, which also belongs to Blazing Sun City, has just been completely built. Okay. Elder Zhao, you've worked hard. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up and he said excitedly. He finally had an extraordinary lethality. And it was not an ordinary lethality. Other than being weaker than ordinary extraordinary tier combatants in terms of agility, a diamond tier Aurora Tower could destroy all extraordinary tier combatants of the same level. Even dragons of the same level could not withstand the bombardment of the Aurora Tower, polarity mode too many times. He resisted the urge to go out and take a look immediately and looked at Zhang Keshuan. Seeing this, Zhang Keshuan took the initiative to smile. My lord, I've also completely mastered the Mist Energy Cannon and forged a Mist Energy Cannon. Where? Zhou Zhou immediately asked. He had been looking forward to this Mist Energy Cannon for a long time. Elder Zhao and I tested the power of the Mist Energy Cannon previously. We're still outside the city gate. The two of us came together to ask my lord to come with us to see the actual combat ability of the Aurora Tower and the Mist Energy Cannon. Zhang Keshuan said. Let's go take a look. Zhou Zhou immediately said. Zhao Changshu and Zhang Keshuan nodded. Then, they walked out of the Lord's manor and came to the city wall. Soon, he saw the first diamond-tier elementary-grade Aurora Tower in the territory. He also saw Li Ye and her maidservant. At this moment, the two of them looked at the diamond-tier elementary-grade Aurora Tower excitedly. Zhou Zhou took a few glances before looking at the Aurora Tower. A text notification appeared. Building name, Aurora Tower. Building level, Diamond Tier Elementary Grade. Building function 1, Light Energy Reserve Device. Absorb light elements and store them in the Light Energy Reserve Device of the Aurora Tower to collect attack energy for the Aurora Cannon. Building effect 2, Aurora Kingdom Cannon. Ray Mode. Activate the Aurora Kingdom Cannon and continuously release light elemental energy, forming an extremely penetrating Aurora Kingdom ray that sweeps through all enemies in range. It can instantly kill any normal race life form below the yellow gold tier. Building effect 2, Aurora Kingdom Cannon, Polarity Mode. Activate the Aurora Kingdom Cannon and instantly release all the light elemental energy in the energy storage device. Concentrate on one point to kill the enemy. It can kill any normal race life form below the epic tier. Remarks. The Aurora Tower has a range of 200,000 meters. Construction description. The racial building of the Aurora Kingdom's human race. It is also the only kingdom-level building in the Aurora Kingdom. Later on, it was promoted by architect Zhao Changshu of Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou's eyes widened. He remembered that in Elder Zhao's description of the White Platinum Tier Intermediate Grade Aurora Tower, the White Platinum Tier Intermediate Aurora Kingdom Tower's Aurora Kingdom Cannon, Polarity Mode could kill any normal race life form below the Extraordinary Tier. After it was strengthened to Diamond Tier Elementary Grade, it could actually kill any normal race life form below the Epic Tier, even though he was already prepared. However, he could not help but be shocked when he saw it with his own eyes. As expected of the huge advancement of a class, strength. At this moment, he suddenly thought of the Lord Battlefield tomorrow. With this Diamond Tier Elementary Grade Aurora Tower and the Greedy Wolf Totem, perhaps I can fight for the position of the strongest lord of all races even without the dragon-slaying will. When he thought of this, ambition burned in his heart again. The reason why Zhou Zhou did not use the Aurora Tower on the Lord Battlefield previously was to protect his territory in reality. The Lord Battlefield was just an activity after all. It was far less important than his foundation in reality, the Blazing Sun City. If it used up all the energy of the Aurora Tower in the Lord Battlefield, and its territory in reality suffered a powerful attack, he would have no place to cry if he had no other way and could not use his strongest trump card, the Aurora Tower. Now that he had this Diamond Tier Elementary Grade Aurora Tower, Zhou Zhou felt that he could already use a portion of the Aurora Towers to participate in the Lord Battlefield with the help of other lower-level Aurora Towers. My lord, the Aurora Tower is ready. Do you want to try it out now? Zhao Changshu said. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Let's begin. Zhao Changshu nodded and said to the gunner beside him. The gunner nodded and began to adjust the angle of the Aurora cannon. Soon, the muzzle of the Aurora cannon emitted a faint white light, and a large amount of light elemental energy condensed at the muzzle. The next second, buzz. An aurora ray instantly shot out accompanied by a low hum. It shot from the desert 100 meters away and shot straight into the distance. There was still a long track condensed from light elements in the night sky that was slowly dissipating after the gunner turned off the Aurora cannon. After that, the gunner activated Aurora Cannon, Polarity Mode. A white light spot appeared at the muzzle of the Aurora cannon. This white light spot continuously gathered light elemental energy in the muzzle and quickly condensed into an incomparably dazzling and tiny light spot. Zhou Zhou was not standing close. Even so, he could feel the soul-stirring energy contained in this light spot. The next second, there was a puff and a dazzling light that was only a centimeter in diameter shot out and shot straight into the ground. Zhou Zhou's vision was extremely good. However, he only saw an extremely deep and small pit. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. So this is a Diamond Tier Elementary Grade Kingdom level building? Such power. Even 10 Nazarios would be instantly killed. He flew down from the city wall and came to the place where the Aurora Cannon, polarity mode, had been activated. A ditch 5 to 6 meters deep and 200,000 meters long shot from Blazing Sun City to the center of Thorn Dune before stopping. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. This range was a little ridiculous. He came to the place where the Aurora Cannon, polarity mode, had hit. He realized that even though he was close, he could not see the deepest part. "My lord, what do you think of the might of this Aurora Cannon?" Zhao Changshuo, Zhang Keshuan, and Liya walked over and said with a smile. "Okay," Zhou Zhou said. Then, he felt that it was not enough to describe it, so he nodded heavily. "Very good. With this Aurora Tower, I don't have to worry about the safety of the territory even if I'm not in the territory for the time being. Elder Zhao, remember to arrange a diamond-tier elementary-grade Aurora Tower for Sandgold City after the construction of the Triumphal Arch is completed," Zhou Zhou said. As a commercial city, Sandgold City had already begun to make a profit. Even though it could not compare to the fixed income of the Monster Ranch, be it channels, connections, reputation, and other things that could be seen or invisible, the efficiency accumulated by Sandgold City far exceeded that of the Monster Ranch. In terms of defense, Sandgold City was no longer the 1,000-odd military professions from before under the rule of Qin Jiangxing, the previous finance minister of the Aurora Kingdom. However, it was better to arrange a diamond-tier elementary-grade Aurora Tower for it just in case. "Yes, my lord," Zhao Changshuo said respectfully. Li Ye and Yu Qiao's eyes lit up. In the future, when they also had this diamond-tier elementary-grade Aurora Tower, the pressure on their Aurora Kingdom against the Taiyan Kingdom and the surrounding foreign race kingdoms would definitely be greatly reduced. Zhou Zhou nodded and looked at Zhang Keshuan. "My lord, please follow me." Zhang Keshuan immediately understood and smiled. Then, he brought Zhou Zhou to a red cannon that was half the height of a person. This red cannon was about half the height of a person and 2 meters long and wide. It was completely scarlet and had an ancient style with a sharpness. It was a yellow gold tier advanced grade mist energy cannon. Zhou Zhou looked at its attribute information. It was the same as the blueprint information he had seen previously. Its range was 5,000 meters, and it was often used to kill giant creatures, creatures with powerful vitality, attack defenses, and naval battles. Zhang Keshuan looked at the gunner beside him. The gunner understood and immediately began to control the barrel, then pressed the firing button. The next second, boom! A loud bang sounded in the distance. A sandpit 4 to 5 meters deep and more than 20 meters in diameter appeared in the desert more than 3,000 meters away. This mist energy cannon can kill giant creatures. If Nazario doesn't advance to yellow gold tier advanced grade, I'm afraid even its life would be in danger in front of it. Zhou Zhou looked at the huge pit and could not help but think. Of course, its most common function was to attack. For example, it was used to break through the defense of the enemy's city wall in siege battles. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou suddenly looked forward to it. Previously, because he did not have any siege facilities, he used conservative defensive methods most of the time on the Lord battlefield and waited for the enemy to attack before attacking. He would only send troops out to take the initiative to attack when he encountered enemies that he could not defend against. Under such circumstances, the enemy had the advantage of the city wall. On their side, other than some subordinates who could fly, the soldiers who could not fly had to break through the city wall first before they could attack the enemies above and inside the city wall. This meant that they had to pay the price of their lives to break through the city wall and attack the city. Now that he had the mist energy cannon, it was different. This kind of war equipment that was specially used to attack the fortress could completely allow them to attack the city wall without paying the lives of their soldiers. To them, this could completely greatly increase the efficiency of attacking cities and plundering lands. Old Zhang, we have to make more of this mist energy cannon. You can get other alchemy technicians to help you make mist energy cannons at the Gnome Alchemy Workshop. Include the alchemy technicians who have just joined the Gnome Alchemy Workshop. Zhou Zhou said. Yes, my lord. Zhang Keshuan nodded. Even though those new white silver tier alchemy technicians were far inferior to him, a diamond tier intermediate grade alchemy technician, however, they could still be considered good helpers to help him make the mist energy cannons. The three of them chatted for a while after that. Then, Zhou Zhou and Leah chatted for a while before returning to the Lord Manor. He washed up briefly and lay on the bed to rest. The next day, early in the morning, in the master bedroom of the Lord Manor, Zhou Zhou opened his eyes in a daze. A few seconds later, he woke up. It's the fourth day of the Lord of all races battlefield. He thought silently. Then, he opened the World Channel and looked at what the lords were discussing. Not surprisingly, most of them were discussing the myriad races Lord battlefield. Most of them were discussing how to advance to the green bronze tier elementary grade and complete the basic goal of the Lord battlefield activity. It could be seen that they were all very anxious. The other small group was discussing how to increase their strength and stabilize their ranks. There were also a very small number of lords who had completed their basic goals early on and were confident that their ranks would not drop to Black Iron tier. Therefore, their performance on the World Channel was quite indifferent, and some lords even had an obvious sense of superiority. Zhou Zhou closed the World Channel after watching it for a while. Then, he washed up and walked out of the Lord Manor to the Gate of Summoning. A text notification appeared. Prompt: do you want to summon immediately?
Yes.
Zhou Zhou looked at the Gate of Summoning expectantly. The next second, the Gate of Summoning suddenly lit up with a bright white light. Then, the subjects walked out one after another. After spending 3 times the amount of time taken in the past, 645 new subjects walk out of the Gate of Summoning. Greetings, my lord, X645. The 645 new subjects said respectfully. Welcome to Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he asked all the professionals to stand up and realized that he had summoned a total of 25 professionals. Zhou Zhou was even more satisfied. Normally speaking, he should summon at least 16 professional subjects a day with the glory of the Pioneer 3, 4 of whom had the same profession level as his territory. Yet he had summoned 25 professional subjects, which meant 9 of the professionals came for free. Who didn't like to freeload? Zhou Zhou opened their attribute information expectantly. A moment later, the inspection was completed. Among the 25 military professionals, there was 1 yellow gold tier intermediate grade cavalry, 1 yellow gold tier intermediate grade archer, 1 yellow gold tier intermediate grade gem craftsman, and 1 yellow gold tier intermediate grade blacksmith. There were also 2 white silver tier advanced grade merchants, 2 white silver tier intermediate grade carpenters, and 1 white silver tier elementary grade tailor. The rest were green bronze and black iron tier life professionals and combat professionals. Zhou Zhou no longer had any emotions towards green bronze tier and black iron tier professionals, so there was no need to elaborate. After handing them all to Elder Zheng and letting him make the arrangements, Zhou Zhou went to the golem nest and summoned the 126 golems today. He also asked them to join the Blazing Sun Army. After that, Zhou Zhou led the soldiers of the Blazing Sun Army to sweep through the time ruins and came to the monster ranch. After a night of construction, this place was already filled with 10 monster ranches. Moreover, every monster ranch was filled with monsters. Each monster ranch had 3,000 ranch monsters. 10 monster ranches would have a total of 30,000 ranch monsters. This number of fog monsters was almost comparable to the total number of fog monsters in the entire white-silver tier regional territory. Even regional Scarlet Lords had to take a detour in fear when they came here. Zhou Zhou looked at the 10 monster ranches. 6 of the monsters in the monster ranch were Desert Fog Lizard, Black-tailed Fog Scorpion, Sandman, Wild Sand Believers, Withered Tree, Undead Knight. The monsters in the last 4 monster ranches were all Storm Spirit. This was a humanoid soldier-type monster formed from wind and lightning elements. On both sides of their heads floated 2 fist-sized wind and lightning spirits. The violent Storm Spirit's eyes were scarlet, and its entire body was surrounded by wind and lightning elements. It looked quite fierce. However, under Mu Gu's nurturing, a total of 12,000 violent storm demon spirits were quietly wandering in the ranch. Zhou Zhou looked at them. Monster attribute information appeared. Monster name: Violent Storm Demon Spirits. Strength level: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Monster Description: a monster from the Kingdom of Eternal Silence. It was originally a kingdom-level military professional in the Storm Kingdom and a member of the Storm Army. Later, after the kingdom was destroyed, it was modified by the Scarlet Fog and became a fog monster. Loots: 8 White Silver Tier Mist Cores, drop rate 100%. 1 Wind Elemental Gem, drop rate 20%. 1 Thunder Elemental Gem, drop rate 10%. 1 True Faith Tier Scarlet Crystal, drop rate 3%. 1 Gradeless Violent Storm Spirit Class Change Certificate. 1 White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Violent Storm Spirit Recruitment Book, drop rate 1%. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. Elemental gemstones were intermediate grade resources. Not only did this Violent Storm Demon Spirit drop the Violent Storm Spirit Class Change Certificate, but it also dropped the Wind Elemental Gem and the Thunder Elemental Gem. There was no need to mention the Wind Elemental Gem. Even though this was the first time he had heard of a Thunder Elemental Gem, he could guess from the name that it should be an item of the same type as the Wind Elemental Gem. Moreover, from the drop rate, the Thunder Elemental Gem should be a more precious resource than the Wind Elemental Gem. Then, Zhou Zhou looked at the drop rates of the other Violent Storm Demon Spirits. The Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade Violent Storm Demon Spirits would drop an additional Wind Elemental Gem and a Thunder Elemental Gem. The Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade Violent Storm Spirits would drop an additional fragment called the Proof of Legion. There was actually not a single one Violent Storm Demon Spirit below the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. Then, he called Mu Gu over. Hearing Zhou Zhou's words, Mu Gu said respectfully, "My lord." Because this Violent Storm Spirit's predecessor was a kingdom-level soldier, the Violent Storm Spirit. Therefore, their initial monster strength is White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. They can't create a Violent Storm Demon Spirit below White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou Zhou came to a realization. Wasn't this the same as the Undead Knights? As a high-level profession, the initial strength of the Undead Knights was also Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade. Not a single Undead Knight was below Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade. He stopped asking and asked the Blazing Sun Army to attack the 30,000 ranch monsters in these 10 monster ranches. Even though Nazario had yet to wake up from the hero inheritance, with Mu Gu around, he could still control all the ranch monsters and allow the soldiers to slaughter them easily. As for Auguste, Zhou Zhou wanted to see its ability, so he asked it to be in charge of a monster ranch for Violent Storm Demon Spirit and deal with the 3,000 Storm Demon Spirits here alone. When Auguste heard its master's words, it immediately let out an excited cry. Then, it flapped its dragon wings and flew into the air of the monster ranch, looking down at the 3,000 Violent Storm Demon Spirits below. It first used Dragon Might, making all the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Violent Storm Demon Spirits tremble in fear. It opened its dragon mouth right on the heels of that. A black and gray cold dragon breath spewed out of its mouth. They surged out continuously and quickly enveloped the 3,000 Violent Storm Demon Spirits in the monster ranch below. It was the spectral dragon breath. The 3,000 Violent Storm Demon Spirits did not feel anything at first, but in less than 2 to 3 seconds, their elemental bodies were gradually corroded into a black-gray color by the spectral dragon breath. The scarlet soul flames in their eyes also gradually dimmed, finally turning into the same blackish-gray color as the spectral dragon breath. At this moment, they had completely lost their vitality and fell to the ground weakly. Even their elemental bodies dissipated, revealing the tattered corpse of a black-gray soldier. Violent Storm Demon Spirits fell one after another under the spectral dragon breath. Your pet spectral dragon, Auguste, has killed a White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Violent Storm Demon Spirit. Promotion energy plus 800. Loots condensed. Blessing of the War God. Your pet Nazario has received an additional 3,200 points of promotion energy. Your pet spectral dragon, Auguste, has killed a Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade Violent Storm Demon Spirit. Promotion energy plus 2,000. Loots condensed. Blessing of the War God. Your pet Nazario has received an additional 8,000 points of promotion energy. Your pet spectral dragon, Auguste has killed a yellow gold tier intermediate grade violent storm demon spirit. Promotion energy plus 4,000. Loots condensed. Blessing of the War God. Your pet Nazario has received an additional 16,000 promotion energy. Kill notifications quickly appeared. When the 43rd kill notification appeared, Auguste's body shook with a bang. Then, it suddenly roared at the sky. Nazario, Bai Yun, Wu Xin, and the others immediately looked over curiously. Then, their eyes widened. Wisps of dark green undead elements and grayish-white soul elements converged into two elemental rivers that appeared out of thin air around Auguste, making him look like the death dragon god. Then, a portion of the undead elemental river fused into Auguste's body. The other part formed a layer of dark green armor on its body. The other river of soul elements turned into two tributaries that flowed down from Auguste's eye and entered its brain. During the process of fusing the two elemental rivers, Auguste's body also began to increase at a visible speed. 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters. After increasing to more than 4 meters tall, Auguste stopped growing. Then, the advancement phenomenon. Auguste seemed quite excited after being promoted. It soared in the air a few times before suddenly floating in the sky and looking covetously at the 2,957 violent storm demon spirits below. A dark green light flashed in its eyes. The next second, boom! An invisible soul fluctuation pierced into the minds of the remaining violent storm demon spirits below like spikes. Growth-type draconic spell, Soul Spike. Ah! Bang! Hiss! The brains of the violent storm demon spirits exploded one after another, and they fell to the ground accompanied by sharp or ear-splitting explosions. A moment later, the 3,000 violent storm demon spirits turned into headless corpses and fell to the ground. At this moment, Auguste had already advanced to the white-silver tier intermediate grade. Then, Auguste went to help the other soldiers of the Blazing Sun Army destroy the ranch monsters in the Monster Ranch. A moment later, after all the ranch monsters were eliminated, Auguste's strength had shockingly increased to white-silver tier advanced grade. When Zhou Zhou saw this, a smile appeared on his face. With the blessing of the War God and the yellow gold tier intermediate grade Monster Ranch, Auguste's advancement speed was far from what Nazario could compare to back then. However, the upgrade from white-silver tier advanced grade to yellow gold tier elementary grade was a major upgrade. It would not be so easy for Auguste to increase its strength like what he had achieved. In the time that followed, under the joint operation of the 10 yellow gold tier advanced grade Conqueror furnaces, the corpses of the ranch monsters were extracted as loot. In less than 20 minutes, the loots of the 30,000 ranch monsters were all extracted. Under the effect of the perfect loots, other than the +1 quality monster flesh, skill books, potion formulas, equipment, materials, Fire Demon Fogwolf outfits, Vitality Potion, Jade Sun Tree Seed, and other items, he obtained a total of 155,154 green bronze tier mist cores, 74,866 white silver tier mist cores, 72,312 yellow gold tier mist cores, and 15,642 white platinum tier mist cores. 57,892 class change certificates. 1,624 sword shield soldier recruitment books. 3,151 Pudeo soldier recruitment books. 2,871 poison crossbow soldier recruitment books. 384 elemental archer recruitment books. 9,311 Aurora Cavalry recruitment books. 12,000 Violent Storm Spirit recruitment books. 12,000 Violent Storm Spirit class change certificates. 16,800 Wind elemental gems. 16,800 Thunder elemental gems. 32 pieces of the Proof of Legion. 38,751 kilograms of light drawing crystal. 3,000 tree core gems. Green bronze, white silver, yellow gold, white platinum tier. 13,523 true faith tier grade scarlet crystals. 10,336 pious tier grade scarlet crystals. 6,141 Fanatic Tier Grade Scarlet Crystals, 12 Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade Combat Spirit Knight Class Change Certificates, 4 Yellow Gold Tier Mount Contracts. Zhou Zhou's eyes widened when he saw the loot. How many recruitment books were there? He counted carefully. After counting, he could not help but hold his breath. After clearing out the monster ranch, he actually obtained 30,641 recruitment books? Then if he did it again tomorrow, wouldn't his military strength break through the 100,000 mark? Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou immediately became excited. He had chatted with Li Ye before. The total military strength of the entire kingdom's regional territories usually did not exceed 1,000,000. If his military strength reached 100,000 tomorrow, he would really have the strength to attack kingdoms. The other party would not take the huge risk of losing other regional territories and gather all their forces to deal with the enemy that suddenly appeared after all, as long as the other party did not stake everything on it. His 100,000 troops were qualified to challenge the other party's entire kingdom. Zhou Zhou thought of the Taiyan Kingdom and Dark Knight Town. Previously, his confidence in dealing with Dark Knight Town came from the fact that the Sandstorm Forbidden Land would not let the pursuers from the Taiyan Kingdom chase after him. Now, he even began to feel that he could try to fight the entire Taiyan Kingdom head-on after conquering Dark Knight Town, even if he did not rely on the Sandstorm Forbidden Zone. Got carried away. Calm down, calm down. Let's see how it goes. Zhou Zhou could not help but think for a while before gradually calming down. Whether he could fight the Taiyan Kingdom head-on or not depended on when the time came. Then, he looked at the Wind Elemental Gem and the Thunder Elemental Gem. These two elemental gems actually don't have a quality +1? Is it because there are no higher-level elemental gems? Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. However, it was not too strange. Some special skills or gradeless skills would not change after being enhanced by the quality +1 of the King of Loots. This was because they no longer had an upper limit, or their grades were separate. He looked at the other loot that the Storm Spirit had dropped. Proof of Legion Certificate Fragments. Item Name: Proof of Legion Certificate Fragment, 1%. Item Level: Extraordinary Tier Elementary Grade. Item Effect: Collect 100 fragments of the Extraordinary Tier Elementary Grade Proof of Legion Certificate, and you can synthesize a complete Extraordinary Tier Advanced Grade Core Certificate. With the Extraordinary Tier Advanced Grade Core Certificate, you can create an official Kingdom-level army formation and activate the Growth-Enhancing Army buff. Item Description: Gather 100 fragments of the Proof of Legion Certificate, and you will obtain the certificate to establish a Kingdom-level army. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. He was a little surprised. It was actually an item to establish an army? He had always thought that armies were casually built. It turned out that the Supreme Will had also created something like the Proof of Legion Certificate. 100 fragments of the Proof of Legion Certificate can only be fused into one complete certificate. I only have 32 now. If I want to gather 100, I'm afraid I'll have to wait until the day after tomorrow. Zhou Zhou thought. He nodded to himself. Then he would wait slowly. Even though he was quite curious about the effect of establishing an official army, he was not in a hurry. Then, he opened the exchange and threw in 40,000 basic soldier class change certificates, extra materials, skill books, equipment, and other items. Then, he directly announced the transaction. Compared to the previous transaction, the number of class change certificates this time had doubled. Moreover, the grade and quantity of materials, skill books, equipment, and other items had more than doubled. Therefore, in less than a moment, this transaction was ranked first on the transaction viewership rankings. The lords on the World Channel immediately started to discuss fervently. My God, the Lord of the Blazing Sun's talent is definitely the control panel. The Lord of the Blazing Sun definitely controls a large amount of control panel code. As long as he enters the code, countless resources will appear out of thin air. It does seem like it now that you mention it. Otherwise, where would the Lord of the Blazing Sun get so many resources? Especially the 40,000 class change certificates. This number is ridiculous. I feel that the Lord of the Blazing Sun has a sign-in system. As long as he signs in every day, he will obtain a large amount of resources. Didn't you notice that the goods sold by the Lord of the Blazing Sun are the same every day? It's just that their grade is increasing. Damn the control panel and the sign-in system. This is the real Lord's world. Have you never felt pain? Thank you for the goods, Big Boss Blazing Sun. To be honest, I feel at ease every day when I see Big Boss Blazing Sun selling goods at a fixed time. I might experience losses going out to fight, but Big Boss Blazing Sun's goods can allow the strength of my territory to steadily increase every day. +1. The thing I look forward to the most every day is buying a soldier class change certificate from Big Boss Blazing Sunday. +2. +11. 111. Big Boss Blazing Sun can even sell these class change certificates at will. Just how strong is his territory? Could it be that everyone is a soldier? It might be even more ridiculous. Don't forget how the Night Lord disappeared. It's a little scary. More than 100 lords went to find trouble with the Lord of the Blazing Sun, but they were beaten down by the Lord of the Blazing Sun before they could even cause a ripple. It's simply terrifying. What should I do if I become enemies with the Lord of the Blazing Sun in the future? Sigh, I'm worried. It doesn't matter. I'll take action. 66,666. The Night Lord had great confidence in himself the day before he besieged the Lord of the Blazing Sun, so he basically did not care about leaking it. Therefore, the lords on the World Channel knew that the Night Lord had led more than 100 lords to besiege the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Even the Dragon Lady Lord, the Overlord Lord, and the other top lords paid attention to this matter. Originally, the lords thought that no matter how much they overestimated the Lord of the Blazing Sun, facing the siege of more than 100 lords and a lord like the Night Lord would be a fierce battle. They did not expect the Night Lord and the others to fail so directly. This shocked many lords. Now that they saw the Lord of the Blazing Sun take out so many soldier class change certificates and other items, all the lords knew one thing. The Lord of the Blazing Sun's strength had increased again. On the other side, after Zhou Zhou announced the transaction, he closed the exchange interface and ignored it. A moment later, Bai Yun also walked over after counting the number of soldiers who had advanced. "I've something to report, my lord." A total of 28,752 soldiers just broke through. 15,201 of them have been promoted to Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade and Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. 7,896 people advanced from Black Iron Tier to the Green Bronze Tier. 5,122 people have advanced to the White Silver Tier. In the end, there were still 463 people who advanced to the Yellow Gold Tier. We have a total of 25,234 Black Iron Tier soldiers, 21,612 Green Bronze Tier soldiers, 8,963 White Silver Tier, 500 Yellow Gold Tier. In addition, I just broke through to the Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade. Maris has also broken through to the Yellow Gold Tier Elementary Grade. Bai Yun said respectfully. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. Among the military professionals under his command, there were nearly 10,000 White Silver Tier professionals. There were even 500 Yellow Gold Tier professionals. He only had a few dozen of them before today. He could only say that the quantity caused a qualitative change. Otherwise, without more than 56,000 troops and the blessing of the war god, it was impossible for so many Yellow Gold Tier professions to suddenly appear. From today onwards, his quantity would increase greatly. On this basis, the overall strength of the professionals under his command would increase greatly every day from today. Thinking of this, he came to the gate of summoning and threw the 30,641 recruitment books he had just obtained into it. The next second, he saw professionals walk out of the gate of summoning one after another. After greeting Zhou Zhou respectfully, they came behind him. Zhou Zhou watched for a while and stopped waiting. More than 10,000 people yesterday made him wait for more than half an hour. Wouldn't he have to wait for 2 hours for the 30,000 people today? He called Bai Yun over and asked her to be in charge of receiving these 30,641 new recruits and started preparing for the Lord battlefield. Bayun immediately accepted the order. Also, I have something else for you to do. Zhou Zhou said. My lord, please instruct me. Bayun said without hesitation. Go and change all the Sand Corps summoners in the Blazing Sun Army to Violent Storm Spirits. In addition, all the knights in the Blazing Sun Army will be promoted to Aurora Cavalrymen for free. You can use the Violent Storm Spirit Class Change Certificates and the Aurora Cavalry Class Change Certificates yourself. Yes, my lord. Bayun said respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he left and found Wu Xian, asking him to gather all the monster subjects in the territory. A moment later, 4,378 monster subjects stood not far from Zhou Zhou and looked at him respectfully. Zhou Zhou looked at them. Most of these monster subjects were wild stone monsters that had defected yesterday. The second highest in numbers were the golems produced by the golem nest. Lastly, there were some sandmen, Sand Corps summoners, and other monster subjects. Zhou Zhou felt a little ashamed. Previously, he had used these monsters as cannon fodder. Every time he charged into the front line, he would arrange for them to be at the front. Only some spellcaster monsters would stay behind. This also caused many of the monster subjects that had defected to die. Otherwise, there would definitely be more than 4,000 monster subjects in front of him. He coughed lightly and looked at them. From today onwards, I will integrate you into a separate army. This army is called the Monster Army. All subjects who join the Monster Army will enjoy the same treatment as the soldiers of the Blazing Sun Army. I hope you can make a name for yourself as a Monster Army in the future. Let the enemy tremble in fear. Roar. Howl, howl, howl. Woo-whoa. When the 4,000-odd monster subjects heard Zhou Zhou's words, they immediately cried out. Zhou Zhou smiled when he saw this. Even though this scene looked a little strange, he, a lord under the supreme will, was actually leading a group of fog monsters. However, since the supreme will did not send a warning notification, it meant that what he did was within the rules set by the supreme will. Moreover, the reason why he gave these monster subjects the same treatment as the soldiers of the Blazing Sun Army was because these monster subjects who had defected were very loyal. He would not mistreat them as long as their loyalty was high enough. At this moment, the exchange sent out a notification. Zhou Zhou took a look. As expected, the transaction he had just issued had been completed. He glanced at the transaction results. Trade result: 131,783,692 black iron tier mist cores. A total of 130 million black iron tier mist cores. Zhou Zhou smiled. This number was not surprising. He had done his mental sums before throwing those things into the exchange. They were exactly the same as this transaction result. I can earn more than 100 million black iron tier mist cores just selling goods every day. There's the heavenly mist treasure bag, which means I can obtain a net profit of more than a legendary tier mist core every day. Zhou Zhou was quite satisfied. He was only a yellow gold tier intermediate grade lord, but he already had such a daily income. He did not know what it would be like when his territory level increased to the legendary tier or even higher. More than an hour later, all 30,641 recruits walked out of the gate of summoning. At this point, Zhou Zhou's Blazing Sun Army had a total of 82,692 military professionals. In addition to the 4,378 monster subjects of the Monster Army, there were a total of 87,070 professional combatants. Zhou Zhou did not waste any time. He opened the Lord Battlefield, clicked on Match, and began to rank. Half an hour later, Zhou Zhou looked at the words that still maintained the word matching and could not help but fall into deep thought. Why was the matching process so slow today? He suddenly thought of something and opened the rankings of the Myriad Races Lord Battlefield to check the number of mythical tier lords. He realized that there were only 46 mythical tier lords, amongst which there were only 19 mythical tier elementary grade lords. Is it because there are too few mythical tier lords? Zhou Zhou guessed in his heart. He felt that this should be the reason. Since there was a high chance that there was no problem with the Lord's battlefield, Zhou Zhou prepared to continue waiting for the ranking. However, just as he waited for another 3 to 4 minutes, roar! A dragon roar suddenly sounded. Then, a mighty and domineering black and red dragon suddenly flew out of the Lord Manor and stood proudly in the sky. It was surrounded by black-red magma and smoke. A pair of scarlet eyes were hidden in it, as if the dragon god in the flames was watching all living beings. It had an ancient crown on its head that was like a volcano, and its body was covered in black and red ferocious dragon armor. Its body was 3 to 4 times larger than before, and its height had increased from more than 50 meters to more than 120 meters. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. Was Nazario done accepting the legacy of the low-tier deity level and the Calamity Crossing pill? He closed the ranking first, then looked at it eagerly. Soon, a brand new attribute information panel appeared in front of him. Zhou Zhou only took a look before his expression lit up. It was because he realized that this brand new attribute information panel was the attribute panel of a dragon hero. Subject: Nazario, Hero Unit. Hero Title: Dragon King of Volcano and Destruction. Position: Low-tier deity level hero fate level. Territory: Blazing Sun City. Strength level: Yellow Gold tier advanced grade. Ability overview: the legendary pure-blooded dragon race mastered the extremely violent power of magma when they were born. As their strength increased, the destructive talent of a top destroyer gradually appeared. Later, under the nurturing of the Lord of Blazing Sun City, they unearthed their bloodline talent and advanced to the level of the Dragon King of Volcano and Destruction, who had the fate level of a low-tier deity-level hero. It mastered the even stronger power of the volcano and even unearthed a trace of the destructive talent. Bloodline: Lava Dragon Bloodline, low-tier deity-level intermediate grade, 99%. Divine Dragon of Destruction Bloodline, true god-tier advanced grade, 1%. Skills: Hero Skill, Volcanic Eruption. Hero Skill, Lava Sea of Fire. Hero Skill, Destruction Dragon Flame. Destruction Dragon Breath, Dragon Might. Draconic Magic Proficiency, Lava Armor. All Things Burn, Lava Explosion. Intermediate Fire Elemental Control, Blazing Explosion. Epic Tier Elemental Immunity, Awaken level 30%. Epic Tier Physical Immunity, Awaken level 30%. Loyalty: 100, Dead Loyal. Potential: Low-tier deity level advanced grade. Hero Biography: 1. Innate pure-blooded dragon race. Hero's personal reputation rating +1. Dragon race reputation plus 30,000. 2. It fought countless battles for the human race's Lord of the Blazing Sun before becoming a hero. It made countless contributions and protected many citizens of the Blazing Sun, causing countless fog monsters to fear it. Hero's personal reputation rating +1. Human race reputation rating +1,000. 3. Under the blessing of the human race's Lord of the Blazing Sun, it obtained the legacy of a low-tier deity level and became the Dragon King of Volcano and Destruction. Hero's personal reputation rating +5. Human race reputation rating +50,000. Dragon race reputation rating +100,000. High continent reputation rating +10. Prompt: when the Dragon King of Volcano and Destruction advanced to the low-tier deity level, this hero's hero title will advance to the Dragon God of Annihilation. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. The Dragon King of Volcano and Destruction? This name sounds so domineering. Moreover, the fate level of a low-tier deity level hero was indeed worthy of being a low-tier deity level. It even had 3 hero skills. Moreover, after advancing to the low-tier deity level, its hero title would actually advance. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. This was the first time he had heard of a hero who could advance. At this moment, Nazario's scarlet dragon eyes immediately lit up after sensing the incomparably terrifying power in its body in the sky. In the sky, Nazario's scarlet dragon eyes immediately lit up after sensing the incomparably terrifying power in its body. After arriving in front of Zhou Zhou, it began to slowly descend. However, even though it had already deliberately controlled its strength, it still landed heavily on the ground with a bang. Nazario didn't mind. It looked at Zhou Zhou excitedly and confided in him about its excitement after advancing. Zhou Zhou smiled. He reached out and touched its chin. No choice. Nazario was more than 120 meters tall. Its dragon head alone was more than 30 meters tall. Even though he wanted to touch the other party's head, he had to fly to touch it. Zhou Zhou did not mind such a small matter of which was better, so he did not waste his effort. When the surrounding living beings saw that the 100-meter-tall Nazario was actually willing to lie obediently in front of Zhou Zhou, they could not help but exclaim in their hearts. When Bai Yun, Wu Xian, and the others saw this scene, they could not help but feel envious. However, when they came back to their senses, they were immediately sincerely happy. This was because the Lord's dragon pet was clearly stronger. With such a powerful dragon by his side and the other party helping him, anyone would feel at ease. Moreover, His Highness Nazario was so strong that the Lord would definitely develop faster in the future. On the other side, Auguste looked at the size of its big brother. Then, it looked at its small body. It could not help but feel envious and inferior. It could not help but feel even more envious when it saw how close its master was to Nazario. I'm going to grow up to this size too. This way, Master will definitely be able to treat me like Big Brother Nazario. Auguste immediately thought. At this moment, its dark green dragon eyes were filled with determination. Zhou Zhou, who was in front of Nazario, suddenly thought of something. He looked at Nazario. The corners of his mouth curled up slightly. Nazario, do you want to find an enemy to test your ability against? He asked. Nazario's eyes lit up. At this moment, it had just advanced and wanted to try its new ability. It immediately nodded repeatedly. Okay, then you can show your skills later. Zhou Zhou smiled and nodded. Then, he opened the Lord Battlefield and clicked on the match again to begin the ranking. Matching with your queuing opponent. Match successful. Entering the battlefield. When the text notification, entering the battlefield, appeared, Zhou Zhou frowned. He had queued for half an hour but could not enter it. This time, he actually entered so quickly. It seemed that if he encountered a situation where he had been ranked for too long, he would try the rule of ranking again no matter which world it was. Zhou Zhou muttered in his heart. At the same time, his body also became illusory and quickly disappeared. The next second, the world in front of him suddenly changed, and he arrived in a world filled with birdsong and flowers. This place was full of life. At a glance, it was very easy to see cute and docile little animals running on the grass. The air was filled with dense light elements. Even those small animals were made of light elements. He looked into the distance. Then, he saw a golden white building that was as sacred as a church. A creature with 4 pairs of holy wings on its back looked at him quietly from the top floor of the church. Could this race be? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows and had a guess. At this moment, a text notification appeared. You have entered the mythical tier elementary grade battlefield. You and your opponent have been randomly assigned to the mythical battlefield, Divine World, Light Plane. Your opponent is Lord of the Radiant Angel Race, Lord Catherine. Condition to defeat the enemy. Kill all the enemy forces within 24 hours. If you exceed the time limit, both sides will be judged to have negative battle results. Ranking -1. You have 10 minutes to deploy your forces. Countdown. 9 minutes, 59 seconds. It really is the angel race. Zhou Zhou looked at the 6-winged angel and could not help but think. He took out the index of all races. Then, he saw the 9th volume fly out automatically and begin to flip through the pages in front of him. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. According to his experience, the mythical tier treasure, the index of all races, the further back the race was recorded in the book, the higher the ranking of the race. This time, the 9th volume of the index of all races actually flew out. It was enough to show how high the bloodline level of the Radiant Angel race was. The index of all races, Book 9, soon stopped on one page. It displayed detailed information about the race. Radiant Angel Race. The Radiant Angel race comes from the Radiant Divine Realm of the Divine Realm. They are a race created by the Light Master God. Not only do they have unique light elemental talent, but they can also stay by the side of the Radiant God day and night and listen to the guidance of the Radiant God. Therefore, they are very powerful. When the battlefield of the lords of all races started, the radiant god used his strength to let his radiant angel race participate in this competition. So it was a divine race created by a master god-tier existence. No wonder we could get here. A strong opponent. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. He did not look nervous. The other party was powerful, but he was not weak either. He stopped wasting time and began to gather his people. Soon, Bai Yun, Wu Xian, Nazario, Auguste, Soul Reaper Maris, Beast Tamer Sun Qian, and 50,000 soldiers of the Blazing Sun Army appeared in Blazing Sun City. As for the remaining soldiers, they were all new recruits summoned today. Those recruits were all Black Iron Tier elementary grade. They were too weak. Zhou Zhou did not plan to let them die on such a high-end battlefield, so he let them stay in the real world and defend Blazing Sun City. However, even if more than 30,000 soldiers stayed behind to defend Blazing Sun City, Zhou Zhou was still quite confident in the strength of his current subordinates. There were almost 9,000 white silver tier professionals and 500 yellow gold tier professionals. The remaining people were half black iron tier and half green bronze tier. Coupled with the hero Nazario, the diamond tier elementary grade Aurora Tower, and the mist cannon, as well as the new team, Auguste. They were all the source of Zhou Zhou's confidence. It was worth mentioning that after receiving treatment in the Goddess of Life's shelter for the past 2 days, not only had Wu Xian's injuries been alleviated, his strength had also recovered from yellow gold tier advanced grade to white platinum tier elementary grade. This also made Zhou Zhou even more confident. In the following period of time, Bai Yun and Wu Xian began to set up defenses. At the same time, Lord Catherine was also looking calmly at Blazing Sun City in the distance. My lord, our enemy this time seems to be the human race? Incredible. A human lord can actually barge into a mythical tier battlefield and fight us. A tall and beautiful four-winged angel walked to Catherine's side and looked at the figure standing quietly on the city wall of Blazing Sun City in the distance. Don't be careless. Before we left, the Lord told us, don't underestimate the lords of any race. That lord is not simple. Yesterday, this lord's reputation has already spread, and I can sense the aura of the chaotic human race on him now. However, the other humans seem to be just ordinary humans. This chaos human can lead these ordinary humans to this extent. His ability is even more unbelievable than we imagined. Isn't it just relying on the dragon race? Angel Nam pursed his lips. It shouldn't be just the dragons, Catherine said. Her gaze fell on Nazario. Then, her gaze became serious. A dragon hero? It seems that this chaos human lord should have given the low-tier deity-level hero inheritance secret manual to this lava dragon race. Not bad. He's a good opponent. I just became a hero too. Let's use this lava dragon to test my combat strength. Catherine's eyes suddenly burned with blazing holy white flames. A holy light sword condensed from the power of angels appeared in her hand. Seconds ticked by. 10 minutes later. Deployment time has ended. The battle has begun. All angels, listen up. Implement the defensive counterattack policy. Wait for the other party to attack. Catherine ordered.
Yes.
All the angels immediately responded. So cautious? They are actually not coming out? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. They really could not be careless with those who could reach the mythical tier. Bai Yun. Since the other party won't come out, then let us attack. Zhou Zhou ordered. Yes, my lord. After Bai Yun finished speaking, she immediately gathered most of the soldiers and walked towards the other party's church. At the same time, Nazario and Auguste flew directly above the soldiers like two guardians, sheltering them as they advanced in the direction of the church. Soon, they arrived about 4,500 meters away from the enemy's city wall. Nazario and Auguste were the first to attack. Nazario flew high in the sky, threw its head up and roared. The next second, balls of fiery red fire clouds appeared above its head and quickly condensed. After a while, This fire cloud expanded to a diameter of 30,000 to 40,000 meters, enveloping Lord Catherine's holy light city. Everyone suddenly felt that the originally cool air suddenly became hot. Angel Nam, who was standing beside Lord Catherine, could not help but wipe the sweat on his forehead. Then, she was dumbfounded to see sparks appear out of thin air within a large radius covering a few thousand meters. At this moment, exclamations suddenly sounded. She immediately looked up. The fire cloud that had gathered previously had actually turned into a boiling sea of magma. They hung upside down in the sky like the sword of Damocles, making every angel who saw them feel their blood run cold. There was only one thought in their minds. This magma sea wouldn't be pouring down on us, right? Nazario told them the answer. The surface of its dragon body emitted scorching light and heat, mixed with wisps of black aura. A pair of scarlet dragon eyes looked coldly at the holy light city below. It whispered, "Dragon language, destroy." The next second, the sea of magma that filled the sky actually poured down from the sky like water under the terrified gazes of all the angels. Magma sea reversal. This scene was like a celestial river destroying the world, shocking all life forms. The holy white flames in Lord Catherine's eyes burned even more fiercely. "Don't panic." At this moment, Lord Catherine's voice sounded in the ears of all the angels. Then, they saw Lord Catherine fly into the sky with the holy radiance sword in her hand and charge straight into the magma sea. She raised the holy radiance sword in her hand high, and her entire body burned with holy white scorching flames. She looked like a god or a saint. Then, the holy white flames on her body condensed on the holy radiance sword in her hand. At this moment, the holy radiance sword in her hand condensed into a 1,000-meter-long holy white sword light. Hero skill, judgment of the radiant god. The next second, she brandished the holy radiance sword and swung it heavily at the magma sea and Nazario, who was in the middle of it. A holy white sword light instantly streaked across the sky and actually split the magma sea open. After the judgment of the radiant god slashed across Nazario's body, the lava armor on its body instantly shattered. However, what made Catherine's pupils constrict was that after this incomparably powerful sword energy cut through the armor of the dragon hero, it only left a sword mark burning with holy white flames on its body. Then, it could not advance anymore and finally disappeared. That's not right. I share the same fate as its hero. Even if there's a difference in bloodline, the difference shouldn't be so big. Why is its defense so strong? Lord Catherine was just puzzled when she sensed the other party's aura. Her expression could not help but change slightly. Yellow gold tier advanced grade. How did its strength increase so quickly as a pure-blooded dragon? She could not believe it. The higher the level of the bloodline, the more promotion energy it would need to increase its strength. According to Catherine's common sense, it was normal for Nazario to be promoted to a white silver tier advanced grade at this stage as a pure-blooded dragon. She never expected that the other party had actually advanced to the yellow gold tier advanced grade. She had only reached the yellow gold tier elementary grade, even with the will of the radiant god. Many thoughts flashed through her mind, and she quickly thought of two possibilities. The first was that this dragon had obtained the inheritance of other dragons, which was why its strength increased so quickly. The second possibility was the reward from the supreme will. These two might be the most likely reasons why this pure-blooded dragon could reach the strength of a yellow gold tier advanced grade. Only with the super strength of a yellow gold tier advanced grade, coupled with the pure-blooded dragon's physical technique and bloodline immunity talent, could the other party receive its hero skill so easily. Not much time had passed in the outside world while she had thought of this series of thoughts in her mind. The magma sea was about to land on her holy light city. Lord Catherine raised the holy light sword in her hand, her entire body burning with blazing light power. A white light barrier emitted from her body and instantly covered the entire holy light city. Hero skill, blessing of the radiant god. The next second, the sea of magma that filled the sky had already completely fallen, completely covering this barrier formed by the hero skill. All the Radiant Angel race looked at the sea of magma that had magma bubbles appear outside the barrier. When they realized that the magma had not melted the barrier and landed in Holy Light City, the angels heaved a sigh of relief. When Lord Catherine saw this, she felt relieved. She could tell that this was also a hero skill of the other party. This kind of large-scale damage-type hero skill used by a dragon hero with the fate level of a low-tier deity level must be very destructive. Fortunately, she had also used a hero skill to block it. Otherwise, they would have suffered heavy losses. In the sky, when Nazario saw this scene, the flames in its scarlet dragon eyes became even deeper. It had just used its second hero skill, the Magma Sea of Fire. Its specific effect was just like the one before him. It was a large-scale damage-type hero skill. This hero of the Radiant Angel race has some skills, Nazario thought. It looked at the magma on the barrier, and its heart skipped a beat. Hero skill, Volcanic Eruption. Hero skill, Volcanic Eruption. Level, Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade, Enhanceable. Skill effect. When using damage-type skills, adds destructive power to damage-type skills, greatly increasing the damage ability of damage-type skills. It can increase by up to 300%. The increase will increase as Nazario's strength increases. The next second, the bright red magma covering the passport suddenly condensed even more. Soon, its color changed from bright red to black and red. Not only was the temperature of the black-red magma higher, but there were also wisps of black destructive aura dissipating from the surface of the magma. Inside the barrier, Lord Catherine was preparing all the Radiant Angels to prepare for the next battle. At this moment, crack, 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 it was as if something was cracking. Lord Catherine's expression suddenly changed. Then, she suddenly looked up at the blessing of the Radiant God. Under the cover of the black-red magma, cracks gradually appeared on the holy white light barrier that was still intact, causing drops of black-red magma to fall in. Soon, the cracks increased in number and size. A large amount of black-red magma seeped in from the crack and landed in Holy Light City. Even though the Radiant Angels relied on their own skills to dodge, a few of them were still drenched by the black-red magma and quickly dissolved with screams. In the end, only balls of light emitting holy white light were left. That was the heart of the Radiant Angels. When Lord Catherine saw these Radiant Angels' hearts, her expression could not help but turn ugly. The heart of the Radiant Angel was the original form of these Radiant Angels when they were first born. Yet they had become like this under the other party's attack. In reality, this could be considered returning to the embrace of the Lord, which was also a sacrifice. Fortunately, this was the Lord battlefield. She could still revive through the resurrection token later. But even so, Lord Catherine still felt that something was wrong. She looked at the blessing of the Radiant God above her head. In the next second, her expression changed greatly. This was because she felt that the blessing of the Radiant God she had released was about to be unbearable. A few seconds later, there was a loud bang. The blessing of the Radiant God was completely shattered. Countless black-red magma poured down, covering all the angels of light. Seeing this scene, Lord Catherine sighed softly and did not use her last hero skill. Even though that hero skill could help them stall for time as a defensive hero skill. However, she would not have much combat strength left to face this dragon hero who was clearly still at ease. I probably won't be able to win even if I reach the yellow gold tier advanced grade. Thinking of this, Lord Catherine could not help but sigh faintly. In the end, she looked through the falling magma at the Lord of the Blazing Sun, who was still standing firmly on the city wall in the distance. She did not want to waste the resurrection spots and chose to surrender, disappearing from the Lord battlefield. Lord of the Radiant Angel race, Lord Catherine has surrendered. You have defeated the Lord of the Radiant Angel race, Lord Catherine, mythical tier elementary grade. You have won this ranking competition. Congratulations, you have advanced to the mythical tier intermediate grade in the Lord battlefield. Congratulations, you have obtained 100,000 battlefield points. You need to participate in at least one ranking competition every 3 days. Otherwise, Your rank will -1. Your battlefield shop has been updated. Surrendered? Zhou Zhou was a little surprised, but he smiled. He did not expect this. This qualifying match was easily won by Nazario alone. His Aurora Tower, Mist Energy Cannons, and the Blazing Sun Army that had greatly increased their strength had yet to attack. Zhou Zhou shook his head. There was also a difference between heroes. A dragon hero with the fate of a low-tier deity-tier hero, and a yellow-gold-tier elementary-grade dragon hero at that, gave him too much of an advantage. The current him could stand firm in a high-end mythical-tier lord game even without relying on the dragon-slaying will, relying on just Nazario. Then, seeing that the soldiers did not need to rest, he directly activated the second ranking. Zhou Zhou was looking forward to it. He could advance to the mythical tier advanced grade and officially stand at the peak of all the lords of the myriad races, becoming a top lord among the lord of all races as long as he won another ranking match. A text notification appeared. Matching with your queuing opponent. Zhou Zhou looked at the words, matching in progress, and began to wait quietly. More than an hour later, Zhou Zhou, who was reading in the study, suddenly saw a new notification. Match successful. Entering the battlefield. His body suddenly became illusory and quickly disappeared. The next second, the world in front of him suddenly changed, and he arrived at a desolate plain. A sun that looked like an egg yolk stopped in the southwest. In the world, it was as if there was an ancient aura. In the distance stood a primitive tribe. 100-meter-tall amethyst giant was looking at Zhou Zhou and the blazing sun city under his feet with a predator-like gaze. It was a yellow gold-tier elementary-grade amethyst behemoth. A text notification appeared. You have entered the mythical tier intermediate-grade battlefield. You and your opponent have been randomly assigned to the mythical tier intermediate-grade battlefield, Doomsday Wasteland. Your opponent is Amethyst Behemoth Lord, Reckless Skylord. Condition to defeat the enemy. Kill all the enemy forces within 24 hours. If you exceed the time limit, both sides will be judged to have negative battle results. Ranking -1. You have 10 minutes to deploy your forces. Countdown. 9 minutes, 59 seconds. Amethyst Behemoth? This ancient race actually still exists? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. He was a little surprised. The Amethyst Behemoth was the ancestor of the white-silver behemoths and yellow-gold behemoths. They were originally born together with the dragons. As races that could fight against pure-blooded dragons, the white-silver behemoths and the yellow-gold behemoths were already very powerful. As an ancestral race stronger and older than them, the amethyst behemoths naturally could not be underestimated. He looked at it for a while, then began to deploy. When Nazario and Auguste appeared, Nazario immediately sensed something and looked at the amethyst behemoth and the members it had deployed. At this moment, Zhou Zhou felt fear from Nazario for the first time in his life. Not to mention Auguste. Even though it wanted to try its best to showcase its heroic bearing in front of the amethyst behemoth, its trembling body still exposed the fact that it was also quite afraid of it. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue secretly. This was the first time he had seen an existence that could completely suppress a pure-blooded dragon like Nazario in terms of bloodline level. If he wanted to show no fear in front of this amethyst behemoth, he would probably have to raise the divine dragon of destruction bloodline in Nazario's body to more than 50%. He guessed in his heart. 10 minutes later. Deployment time has ended. The battle has begun. Zhou Zhou looked at the other side again after he was done with the deployment. In the end, he realized that the other party had already summoned 18 amethyst behemoths. Zhou Zhou narrowed his eyes slightly. This was one of the advantages of a high-level lord. If anyone among the human race could obtain the lord talent to summon the amethyst behemoth, it would be at least a legendary tier lord talent. But to the amethyst behemoth itself, summoning its own kind from the gate of summoning was just like how Zhou Zhou summoned his human subjects every day. It was just the most basic daily operation. At this moment, he saw that the yellow gold tier elementary grade amethyst behemoth lord had already led the 18 amethyst behemoths he had deployed out of the tribe and rushed towards his blazing sun city. Even though Nazario and Auguste were afraid of the other party's aura, they still mustered their courage and flew over. When it approached the other party, Nazario suddenly opened its dragon mouth, and a black-red flame spewed out of it. It was like a fire dragon as it shot towards the amethyst behemoth lord. Hero skill, Annihilation Dragon Flame. When the amethyst behemoth lord saw the dragon flames attack, it immediately hammered its chest with both fists and roared at Nazario. Hero skill, Amethyst Blood Armor. Hero skill, Berserk War. Its original height of 120 meters increased to more than 180 meters. At the same time, its body was covered in a layer of purple crystal armor. Nazario's strongest single-target hero skill, the Dragon Flame of Annihilation, began to burn the Amethyst Behemoth Lord after landing on it. Auguste also used its soul spikes to attack the other party's soul. However, after it retracted the Annihilation Dragon Flame, everyone was shocked to discover that the Amethyst Behemoth Lord was still standing on the spot. It was just that the purple crystal armor on its body had become a little charred. It roared again, and the purple crystal armor on its body immediately returned to normal. Then, it ignored Nazario and Auguste and charged towards Blazing Sun City. Use the Aurora Tower. Activate the polarity mode immediately, Zhou Zhou said when he saw this. The soldiers of Blazing Sun City would not be able to deal with these amethyst behemoths without using the dragon-slaying will. He would not waste his resurrection spot.
Yes,
My lord. Bayun immediately led her subjects and went to the diamond-tier elementary Aurora Tower in the middle of the city wall. She ordered the gunners to begin controlling the Aurora cannons. Soon, Zhou Zhou heard a soft puff. The next second, a dazzling light that was only a centimeter in diameter shot out and shot straight at the head of the Amethyst Behemoth Lord. The Amethyst Behemoth Lord had sensed fatal danger when the Aurora cannon was activated. It wanted to dodge, but it could not dodge the light at all. The next second, everyone saw the Amethyst Behemoth Lord standing quietly on the spot. Its head was no longer there, only the flesh of its charred neck.
thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.